I have with me some really, really special people. Now, they're special in general. They're special to Encore because there are Getchell Scholars, but they're also just special people to me because a lot of them are very friendly faces who I've gotten the honor of knowing and singing with. So, you guys, welcome to Encore. I know tonight looks a little bit different than most Encores that you've probably been a part of in the past. But you know what? Like, we're getting really creative. It's year 2020. Everything's crazy, so we've had to adapt, and adapt we have. So what I want to do is I just kind of want to go across the group and have you guys introduce yourselves, say your name, when you graduated UK, or if you're still working on something at UK, and where you are locationally now.
Hi, my name is Katrine Thawley. I'm so excited to be with you tonight. And I graduated in 2016 with my master's degree, and I am currently cruising into the final stages of completing my doctorate. Crossing fingers for May 2021. So that's the goal. So I am still located here in Lexington, Kentucky, and I am the Associate Music Director for the Lexington Theater Company, and I also run a private voice studio here.
Wonderful. Awesome. Andre.
Hi, Jenna. Well, my name is André Campelo. It's been 3 years that I moved out of Lexington, and I had an incredible time there. I miss that place so much. Me and my family, we will always think fondly of that place. Well, I graduated in 2017, finishing my doctoral degree at that year. And now I live in Greencastle, Indiana, where I teach at DePaul University. I've been holding a position as assistant professor of music for 3 years now. I teach voice and voice-related courses here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Candice Williams. I just finished the master's program here at UK, May 2020, very exciting. And right now I'm still living in Lexington, just making sure that I'm ready for the world to open back up again, still practicing at home, doing what I have to do at home.
Awesome. And last but not least, Nicole.
Hello. It's so good to see you all again. I am Nicole Sombert, and I graduated in 2017. It's so great to see all your faces. Lexington and University of Kentucky hold a very special place in my heart. Those were many, many great years and great support. I am now the director of the Community Music School here at Appalachian State University. I live near Boone, North Carolina, and I teach voice for App State as well.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so incredible. I just want to get just a little bit into a little bit more of what you are doing right now. So Katrine, you said that you are finishing your PhD in voice, correct?
Yes, my DMA.
Your DMA. Okay, that's the official term. What has this semester been like for you? Has it been beneficial? Because I know you're probably working on dissertations and all kinds of things. Has it been beneficial to have a little bit of time, or has it been an added challenge for you with all the social distancing?
Well, you would think that it would be beneficial. But I mean, honestly, just completing the semester, really, I'm doing the bulk of my time now at UK is spent as a teaching assistant. And so I had to, I was working with my students to get them through the semester and successfully. And I have done some reading, but this adjustment, it was quite an adjustment, this quarantine. I will say that 100%. And so now I feel like I'm in a little bit more of a,
Have you had to move your lessons to Zoom calls?
Yes, my entire studio is online. Yes, and so there's a bit of a learning curve with that. Lots of different aspects of that, but it's actually turned out to be really, really awesome. If I do say so, we've had my students crave, we all do, we crave this interpersonal relationship. And so the lessons are very fruitful, and we keep moving forward, plugging along, waiting and hoping for those live performances to happen.
Well, Katrine, you are one of the most positive, most encouraging, most uplifting people that I've ever met. I mean, that's just what you radiate. And I remember there was just so many moments, like little moments, because we were at UK at the same time, where you would just say something that would just help me to keep going. And something that I mentioned in the other nights that we've done these interviews with our Getchell Scholars is when you're at UK, you don't necessarily know who's a Getchell Scholar and who isn't. But the undergraduates benefit so much from the graduate students who are completing their education due to the Getchell Scholarship. And like that is just epitomized in who you were for me while I was at UK, and just how encouraging you were and helpful you were for everything. So thank you for that. But also, I just want to ask you personally, because I had no idea you were a Getchell Scholar. So I want to know what the Getchell Scholarship meant to you and your time at UK.
Yeah, the Getchell Scholarship, I didn't know about it either. And it was such a surprise to me. I was finishing my master's, and the Getchell Scholarship came at a point in when there was a big transition in my family. We were going through some things, and I thought, how we'll pay for this out of pocket for this to finish up these last final requirements for my master's. And I can remember standing in the office, Dr. McCorby's office there, and I believe it was Chris Gilbert, and she handed me an envelope, and I said, "What is that?" And I opened it, and I'm reading this letter, and I just started bawling because it was such a gift to know that I could finish what was required of me without the financial strain that college can be, especially on, any student, but I think graduate students, when we're balancing work and school and family and all of these things, I think it was just such a precious gift that helped me finish my master's. So very grateful.
Could not have been given to anyone more deserving, I assure you of that. And also, I just want to shift over to someone else who I had no idea was a Getchell Scholar. I'm learning this today, but has meant so much to me in like my artistic growth, and also the decision that I made to go into the performing arts is due a lot to Mr. Andre Campello. Like, you being in South Pacific with me, that performance really solidified so many things and Nicole as well. Just, it solidified so much of who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And it gave me the courage to say, yes, I'm going to be a performer. And as we all know, that takes a lot of courage, because it's not an easy route. So Andre, I want to ask you this question, other than South Pacific, because if I asked you this question and you didn't say South Pacific right away, I would just, but I want to ask, other than South Pacific, what for you was your favorite performance opportunity that you had at the University of Kentucky that the Getchell Scholarship allowed you to have?
Oh, I had so many opportunities. One of my favorite things was the opportunity to do all my three favorite Mozart operas, Don Giovanni, Così fan tutte, and Le Notte di Figaro. I would say the Tales of Hoffmann was one of my favorite performances. Was a lot of fun to play the villain. But I would say the one that people remember the most until today is South Pacific. And I have to say, I was so scared when I I got the role, not because of the music. The music is actually, I had two songs to sing, but because the dialogues. And I come into the first rehearsal, and Jen is ready to go. Oh my God, I have to study. And then I never worked so hard to to do a good job in something I was uncomfortable with dialogues. I usually like to have all my notes and pitches and inflections all given to me by the composer.
You were wonderful, and just so everybody who's watching this knows, he was very prepared that first rehearsal, and he was just the best acting partner anyone could ever hope for. So, but I want to hear a little bit more about your teaching at DePaul right now. That's amazing. Tell me a little bit about what you're looking forward to with teaching your own students and the work you're doing there. Anything exciting coming up for you on the horizon?
I just apparently they liked me here, so they renewed my contract for 2 more years. um, so so it's a very nice small town. I used to think that Lexington was small until I came here. There are 10,000 people live here. It's really small, but now I'm used to it. It's great to raise your children. If you don't know yet, I have a second one, so a very handsome boy. And I would say that the Getchell Scholarship came at a time um, when there was a lot of uncertainty as what Vanessa and I would be doing that year. Uh, and Julia was born in 2016, and then I didn't have any perspective of how I would fund my last year, my last doctoral year. And then it really helped me. It was the difference between going back home, going to back to Brazil without the degree or waiting for a better time to finish it, and getting the degree and then getting this job right away. So that made all the difference for me.
Incredible. And I love that the scholarship enabled you to, I mean, it completely changed the trajectory of your life. And not only your life, but all of your students, all of the people you know in Indiana, like all of the people you're working with are benefiting from people's investment in you. And I just think that's wonderful that you're able to balance work life, taking on students, you know, performances as well. I sure hope so, because you have the most incredible voice. So I hope you're still performing as well. And then having the family. And I just think that's wonderful that the Getchell Scholarship could allow you to do all those things. Do you have any performances coming up?
I would have, but they were all canceled. I basically am performing as in faculty recitals. Um, I had a performance last semester, last fall in Lexington, but it was very last minute. No, not many people knew about that, but it was very nice to sing in the recital hall again. It was very special for me. So I hope I'm preparing a recital right now. God knows what's going to happen to that. Yeah, I would sing that in the fall here, and the plan always that every time I do a faculty recital, I always try to sing in other places. So if the spaces open up, I hope to go to Lexington again and sing one more time there.
Well, I hope it does. And if it doesn't for some reason, then you're just going to have to do a virtual recital
Yeah.
and I can watch you. Oh, Nicole, one of my favorite people ever. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well.
So tell me a little bit more about your teaching job.
So I'm here at Appalachian State, and it's teaching voice to mostly majors. I have maybe one or two minors in my studio. We have programs from music industry, music education, music therapy, vocal performance, all of those. So it's been really quite a diverse group of students in my studio that I love. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. You know, I was thinking about it when we were talking as a group with the other group, and we were just discussing how the UK faculty is really like they're very special people. And not only is your voice teacher like someone you aspire to be like vocally, but in at least in my case, my voice teacher was like and is still my like ideal highest ideal of womanhood, you know, like just this beacon of a role model for me. I want to know, like, of the things that you've learned at UK, obviously the music, but what leadership lessons did you really get from the UK faculty that you're carrying with you as you are now taking on the mantle of leadership with your own students?
Gosh, I learned so much. I would say, you know, the leadership is what I learned the most was basically taking this idea and paying it forward that we have to support each other in music, in singing, in anything that we do. We have to make sure these students understand their voice is unique. No one has their voice. No one can share that with the world. It needs to be heard. It needs to be fostered. It needs to be supported. I am a first generation college graduate, and I would not be here today without scholarships, but also without the confidence that comes along with those scholarships and that support. You know, if people weren't there saying, you can do this, we believe in you, not only are we financially giving you that support, but we're emotionally, mentally there. And UK was that place. They gave me the support, Dr. Hetzel, Dr. Lugo, Dr. McCorvey, the entire team worked so well together to give me as many experiences as they could to put me in front of students, to perform, to sing, to lead. And I think it's kind of ignited a new passion in me as I get older to make sure I'm creating programs for these young students coming up, that we're really looking at, you know, getting new scholarships and new support and commissioning new works, so that all of their voices can be heard.
I love that. And you were so right. You said something so smart, which is it only works when we support each other. And I think right now in this year, 2020, it's just been a wild year for everybody. I mean, in terms of just disruption and financial uncertainties, and there's just been a lot that people have had to contend with. And I think that now more than ever, when people have the opportunity to be generous, to give to a scholarship like this, I think it's actually more important than ever for people to be generous and to really reach deep in their pockets and say, like, this is important, art is important. And, you know, I like to think of the voice, as you said, it's so unique from person to person. It's like a thumbprint. There's not two that are the exact same. And like, how sad would it be for a student to miss out on being able to really share their beauty, their gift, their heart, their artistry with the world, in a world that's like hurting right now, and in so many ways needs that creativity and art and music and magic to hit their lives and uplift their souls. Like, I think, you know, us coming together tonight there's never been a more important time. And as I've done encores, you know, like every time we get to the Getchell Scholarship and we hear the testimonials of how the scholarship has changed people's lives, it's always powerful. But I really think that this year, above all years, it's really like, it's the time, because art is the first thing that gets cut. Art is the first thing on the chopping block every single time. And I just know that there's so many like amazing donors in Lexington who have just been so continuously supportive. I just know that they're not going to let that happen. I just really believe that they're going to continue to support students this year. And I'm so excited for that. So thank you so much for sharing. I do want to ask and I won't even give you the caveat because you don't have to say South Pacific, but you could say South Pacific. What was your favorite performance that you were a part of while you were at UK?
I would have to say South Pacific. I just loved our collaboration. I felt like we were a family. Mm-hmm. We talked with each other. And once again, I go back to the support, but you know, music gives that. Music gives us a place to have conversation. It gives us a place to share thoughts, words, visions through music, through that artistry. And I think South Pacific is one of those places that just showed me that this is what I want to do. I want to be a part of that family. I want to be a part of a family that comes together and talks and shares and communicates, and does that with beautiful artistry and respect. So
I love that. And you know, that story for me too, it had such a good message and a very timely meaning for a lot of people. And it definitely showed me as well, like just how much art can make an impact. Speaking of a woman who is finishing her education and will no doubt start making a huge impact. Okay, Candace, tell me a little bit about you, because you're the only one on this Zoom call I don't think I've actually met in person. So welcome, Candace.
Thank you. Well, a little bit about me. I'm from the DC, Maryland area. And my experience at UK was very unique, I think, because I felt that in comparison to a lot of my classmates, I decided relatively later on in my academic career that I wanted to pursue performance. And so it was a wonderful time. I loved UK's program. And, you know, like we've been saying, everybody is so, so, so supportive and encouraging. And, you know, when it comes to being a recipient of the Getchell Scholarship, it really, really allowed me to fully immerse myself in this program in a way that I don't think I would have been able to if I had to worry about, you know, this side job and that side job in order to make ends meet. So it was just a really, really encouraging and timely thing that this came into place for me. And I really, really enjoyed my time here at this program. And I'm so excited to see how well they'll be able to, you know, pay it forward and support other students as well.
How have you been dealing with this time? I mean, we have a lot of time where we've been isolated, we've been at home. I know that a lot of your classes have moved online and your coachings have moved online. So tell me a little bit about how the faculty has accommodated you and maybe some of the things you're working on while you have this beautiful gift of time.
Absolutely. It was a huge transition to move everything online. And although it was very, very different and sometimes difficult, the faculty, even outside of the voice area, all of the, you know, the fine arts members were so intentional about making sure that we had everything that we needed. And they were always accessible to us if we had any concerns or technological issues with Wi-Fi or anything like that. And with my coachings and lessons, it was, you know, definitely not what we're accustomed to in terms of having that that interpersonal vibe about it. But we made it work, and we were still able to, you know, prepare all of our music. And as it stands now, I'm trying to continue to stay self-motivated because, you know, everybody who had a recital was not able to do it anymore if you hadn't done it by the time COVID, you know, hit, basically. And so we're aiming to put our recitals on towards the end of the summer. It'll probably be, you know, live streamed for a very limited amount of people. But I'm still trying to put in that work and still make sure that everything is crisp and clean by the time it comes around. And it's still very exciting, and I'm still able to reach my coach and my voice teacher if I ever need anything. So I do feel like I'm equipped with all that I will need for this preparation process.
Well, in some ways I'm excited because, you know, as I'm out in LA, like I feel like sometimes I can be a little disconnected from the things that are happening, but I'm going to get really excited if they start popping up all of those recitals online because then I get to hear them. So there is a silver lining for some of our UK fans that have spread out around the globe. And you know what I think is so I think it's beautiful in a way that even though we can't meet all together as a group this year, in some ways, technology and the tenacity and creativity of the human spirit is allowing us to really like come together. And, you know, maybe I wouldn't have been able to come into town. Nicole, you may not have been able to come into town. Andre, you might not have been able to drive down from Indiana for an encore event. So like we're actually getting to interview so many more Getchell Scholars this year. And I think that's so wonderful because people love you guys. They are big fans of your performance skills and you as people. And we love staying connected. That's the beauty of UK alums. We love just staying connected to each other. And, you know, Encore for me always feels like a coming home. And even though we're apart this year, I still feel like we're coming home. So thank you guys so much for being on. And I just want to talk to you guys, ladies and gentlemen, really fast. You've heard 3 nights of just some incredible, beautiful artists speaking about the things that they're doing in their schools, in their communities, and for themselves professionally. And you've heard just how much the Getchell Scholarship has affected the lives of these individuals and is having that ripple effect where these individuals are going on to infect the lives of their students. And you know what's more contagious than Corona is like the beautiful like hope and gorgeous beauty that comes from your hearts and your music. And that is what we need to make more contagious. And so in order to do that, we need and rely on your generosity to continue to give to this amazing worthy scholarship and continue to believe in the arts so the arts can breathe new life into this world that needs new life so much. So I encourage you all to be generous tonight. Thank you so much, Ever McCorvey, Sandy Archer, for having me back. Thank you so much, you guys, to our Getchell Scholars. I celebrate you. I can't wait to just see all of the amazing things you're going to do. God bless you guys.